brother. It's good to see you, man. And it's been, I could say, a couple of months since we talked because when we talked the last time, we were talking about singles being released, a certain album that was going to be released. You kind of hinted on it. Now we can talk about it and make it official that the album's out.
Yep.
Congratulations on this. Let's get right to the nitty gritty. What is the new album called, and how does it represent Men Without Hats, their legacy?
Yeah, it's called Men Without Hats Again, Part Two, and it's 14 brand new songs. It's our first album in 10 years of new material. And the songwriting stretches back, it spans about 40 years. It's songs that we went back to the vault and got demos that hadn't been released, around the Safety Dance era, around the Pop Goes the World era. There's songs that were written in the back of the tour bus. For the last 10 years, we've been on the road. And then there were songs we wrote in the studio while we were putting it all together. So it's a good window on Men Without Hats at the moment.
I'm curious though, when you talked about songs that were in the vault, I know a lot of times because record companies were, being taken over and things like that, artists were losing rights to songs. And I know a lot of artists who have said that they put albums together that are in the vault because of record companies being bought out by other record companies. How did you guys avoid that to be able to still have the rights to this music to be able to have this for us?
You just don't play them for the record company. Basically. So that's it. We had songs, that were just demo stages, but the thing was they were, mostly, three quarters done, most of them. So we added some lyrics to some of them, but we kept the heart and soul of most of the tracks, and it worked. It was good.
When you are putting together a new album, knowing the fact that fans like us love the history of Men Without Hats and knowing the music and style. So we're sort of sitting there going, okay, so what are we expecting? Are we expecting a continuation or is this going to be something new? When you guys are in studio putting all this stuff together, what are you thinking on your end? And are you thinking about those things about what we're thinking also?
Yeah, well, first of all, this record came together because the fans were asking for new music. My output hasn't been like very prolific, so the fans were after us. And I said, 10 years is a long time, it goes by fast. So this project actually started as a piano vocal solo project where I was just going to put out an album of, reinventions, reimaginations of my catalog, songs of my catalog, and maybe a couple of cover songs of songs that had been important to me. And it's when we did a version, a piano vocal version of the Tragically Hip's Blow It High Do. And after we recorded that, I said, oh, you know what? I'd like to hear what this sounds like with a full band, full Men Without Hats treatment. And we did. We recorded it with a full band, and we loved it. And we decided that's kind of changed the direction, and it kind of embarked us on this journey that ends today with the release of the new album. So it organically grew. It kind of morphed from a solo piano to a full Men Without Hats record. And we had a lot of fun doing it. It was great. But like I said at the beginning, it was the fans. It was the fans that were sort of edged us on. Kind of. It was because of them.
One of the things I did love when we talked the last time was when you talked about the safety dance video to what we saw visually, the story there, and the fact that you continued to tell the story and what happened after what we saw visually. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, that was the reimagination of the safety dance that we did on the first part one, Men Without Hats Again, part one, that we released in September of 2021. And that was done up as a ballad. We took safety dance and we did it up as a ballad called No Friends of Mine. And the storyline was that I went back to the village some 40 odd years later, and the little jester was now the mayor of the village. He had married the crazy blonde chick. They'd had a big family full of musicians, and everything was cool. Everything was hunky dory. So that was the imaginary video.
And I'm just curious, your character felt safe going back, because
Oh yeah,
what we saw was like Alice in Wonderland gone crazy.
yeah. That video was such an experience. That was something that grew organically too. We filmed it in the village of West Kington, and as the day went on, as the shoot went on, more and more people of the village joined in and participated went over and got some red paint put on their face and joined in the dance around the maypole. So it was an organic event too. It was very cool.
And I want to go back to, we're going to go back to the album because I want to talk about the latest single, but I want to go back to Safety Dance still though. And people ask this question all the time. In a way, it's a dumb question, but I'm going to ask anyways. Ever thinking that that song would be so iconic? I mean, when it's on The Simpsons, you know that it's worldwide and doing the dance and everything else too.
Yeah. Well, I'll be truthful. When you're a young 20-year-old songwriter, you think every single song you write it deserves to be a smash number one hit, or else you wouldn't be doing it. And the thing is, you can't realize why everybody's not catching on. So, but I'm truly blessed. I mean, that is awesome to have people like Weird Al Yankovic cover your song. Is What can you ask for more? It's absolutely great.
Yeah, people should realize this. Maybe they don't realize it now, but back then, when you were being parodied by Weird Al, that was considered like a salute. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, I've made it.
oh yeah, that was that was the top. That was an ultimate compliment. If Weird Al did one of your songs, it was you were you were happening, baby.
Exactly, exactly. What is the latest single right now as we speak, and what's that song about?
This song, the first single off the new album, is called "If the World Should End Today," and it's kind of funny because it was written about 5 years ago, so it was written a long time before what we've been going through and still going through is happened. So I wrote it as a song that could be taken in different ways. I can see it was written originally to as a song to the most beautiful, seeing the most beautiful woman in the world for the first time. But it could also be taken like I also see it when I hear the song now. I think of my son and the first time I saw him coming out of his mother's body and looking up at me, turning his head around and looking up at me for the first time. And so that's what the song is all about. It has a very ominous title, but it's actually a love song and a song of hope. And I hope people like it.
And hope is definitely what we need these days too. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Um, Tour. What is happening? Are we gonna get you guys back on the road? And any chance that you guys might even be not just in Toronto, but do you think you might be around Toronto when the Juno Award nominations and awards and stuff like that are going to be happening?
You never know. You never know. It's the 40th anniversary of the Rhythm of Youth album, the one that had Safety Dance on it this year. So we're going to be incorporating. We're going to be playing the whole album from start to finish as part of our set. And the tour starts in the UK on May 12th, and it takes us to a couple of weeks in UK, a couple of weeks continental Europe. Then we're embarking on a Lost 80s tour in the US with the Flock of Seagulls, Wang Chung, and the English Beat.
Yes.
And then we bring it to Canada. We're going to go east to west, and the Quebec dates have started to book already. We've started booking Quebec in September, so I imagine Toronto and everybody else is going to be coming soon behind that. So that's the plan for this year.
We are hungry for this. Look, as we wrap this up, Barry White had written a song years ago called Staying Power. What do you think, Men Without Hats, staying power? What is your staying power in this business and advice that you can give the young cats who are following in your footsteps?
Well, my staying power has certainly been our fans. It has been, we had two of our songs inducted into the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame last year, the year before, and that is I mean, unique. Nobody gets us there but our fans, with the people who listen to our music. And so that's what I'd tell young artists who are starting out today: never forget who keeps you there, who put you there, and who loves you. So
I gotta tell you something, man. Every time I talk to you, I always keep thinking about if I could go back in time and tell that young Rudy who was watching the video, at Toronto Rocks, or Much Music, and doing the safety dance, and would ever think that I would be talking to you and talking about those great times. It is such an honor to be able to dance to your music, to play that music out of my Camaro, and to be able to
awesome.
still play it out of my Equinox
Yeah.
today. But just the fact that I can talk to you about history, man, is a blessing. Thank you so much for the great music from the past. Thank you so much for the great music for today, and looking forward to the great music in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Always nice talking to you.